Welcome to a special episode of Real Talk. I'm Dr. Laura Ciel.
And I'm Bill Poet, and we think all of our episodes of Real Talk are special, but these are a little bit different because it's a combined conversation. It's one we're having with our Real Talk friends and family all over the world, as well as the team members of our Love Advanced training course. So we're thrilled. This is going to be a great one. A lot of impact, a lot of motion, a lot of movement. Thank you guys for being on the team. Thank you for the feedback, for posting your questions, for sharing us on social media, and for just really being engaged with us. We love it. We love how the conversation's going. And let us begin.
Jump into the question?
Please.
Okay. I feel like I know what I want. That's good.
That's excellent start.
I feel like I know what I want, but I get scared to act on it. I start to retreat. What can I do to be less afraid?
Ooh, so the first thing, and I get these kind of energetic hits. The first thing that popped up to me is I'm scared to act on it. I can't emphasize this enough, and this is going back to me as an old knife fighting instructor. Fear is the most magnetic emotion there is. So whenever you focus on what you are afraid of, whenever you focus on what it is that you don't want, you are empowering. You are creating a super magnet, and you're drawing that thing to you. So if I'm in a knife fight and I'm afraid of getting cut, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to get cut. So what we had to train our warriors to do is they had to focus on the actions they were going to be taking. They were focused on what they were going to do. There was no space, there was no room for what the enemy's knife might do to them. And in the context of this question, don't focus on what you are afraid might or might not happen. Direct your intention, direct your energy. Remember, we talked about really elevating and coming from that highest place. Set your intention, set your focus on the beautiful, amazing thing you're here to create, and don't feed those fears. So that's the first thing that popped up for me.
Right, and I think about the part of the question that says, I'm afraid to act, or I start to retreat, and this, that's not uncommon. I mean, we all do it in certain circumstances. It's very common, and part of what we teach and train people in the model is really about taking action so that then you can fine tune. So if you are holding back from taking any action, if something I think it's fantastic that you know what you want. Like that sometimes is so hard to get to that point. So knowing what you want, having a clear vision on that, and reconnecting with that, and realizing that, you know what, action needs to be taken in order to move forward. Now, that action that you take may not result in exactly what you want. That's okay.
And odds are it's not going to for a very long time. The first time you swing at the tennis ball, the first time you hit the golf ball, the first time as infants we tried to walk, we were totally unsuccessful, but we were actively engaged in creating that feedback loop. And that feedback loop is what changes everything. So, to your point, if you know what you want, come up with the best plan you possibly can, engage in that, take that action, and then stop.
Well, I was actually going to add something to that.
Go,
have fun with it.
Yeah.
Look at it as an opportunity to get out there in whatever situation you're talking about in this question. Get out there and just do it, and look at it as an opportunity to get even closer to what you want. You know what you want, and by taking action and seeing what happens, what works, what doesn't work, which is where you were starting to go.
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself.
Just really, and I lost my train of thought again. Yeah.
Well, freedom. So I believe what we're saying is you know what you want, and again, get access to the best information. We're not saying go out blindly. You've done your training, you've done the work.
Obviously.
You're not going to do something that doesn't resonate with you. It's got to be something that turns you on. We've talked about that. So now take a chance, take a risk, go out and do it. And what's some action, any action is better than a retreat. Any action is better than no action. And this is something that's really heartbreaking. Let's say you have a desire. There's someone you want to ask out. There's a job you want to go for, whatever that dream is. If you have a desire and you don't take action, you've already failed.
Right.
So what if there's a 10% chance of success? What if there's a 5% chance of success? You have absolutely nothing to lose, because simply by not acting on your desire, guess what? Congratulations, you failed. Now you have a chance to actually make it happen. And we're gonna share with you at the end of this a little exercise that's gonna make it a little bit more scientific, so that even when you miss or when you fail or when you fumble, it's gonna get you back on path, back on your course, and moving into that joy and that love and that passion that we are all here for.
Often this comes from a place of an idea that it needs to be perfect, or that you need to be perfect, which just kills all your dreams, because there isn't one perfect state. You have an image of what it is you want. That's fantastic. I'm certain you have an idea of what a few steps, even if they're small steps, as Bill talked about, those next steps that you can take. And if you allow the idea that it's going to be perfect to paralyze you, you're losing out on getting one step closer. So we like to suggest, as far as taking that action, that was what your question is. What do I do when I'm feeling afraid? I'm feeling like I'm going to retreat. You know what? Have fun with it and see what happens. Think of it as you're doing an experiment, and the purpose, the point of that experiment, is to get closer to what it is you really want.
Well, and that's the scientific process. You take the action, you gather data, you take another action, you gather. That's how all inventions take place. That's how all skills. Think of an Olympic gymnast. I'm awed by them. 4 feet off the ground, they do a flip on a board that wide. Well, that's not how they started. They started as little kids trying to walk across it and falling off. But see,
over and over.
The person who never gets on the balance beam is never going to get the flip. So this is about really knowing what you want, getting the education, the training that you need, making sure it resonates with your heart, and then go out and go for it. And now we're going to share with you the exercise, and this exercise is, God, the advances in my life and in our business have come from this process. So, Doc, what is it?
I thought you were going to do this one.
Okay, so it's stopping. We talked about it earlier. Before you engage in any relationship, any activity, what do we ask you to do? Stop. Elevate, engage at your core, see the most beautiful result possible.
And let go of what was at the same time.
Then what you do is you have the experience, and before you jump into the next experience, stop and look back. And it's really simple. We call it a win review. There's 3 things. What worked? What felt really good? Where was it like, yeah, I'm getting this? What isn't working? Where didn't I get the result that I was looking for? And then what's my new course? Make a new course correction.
And you're expected to have all of these in that. And so sometimes when we're working with people and we talk about this, there's a little bit of a relief, and maybe you notice it now, of, oh, okay, so if I go out there and I do it, it doesn't have to be perfect. There will be some things that are working great, like great feedback. I'm going to keep doing that. That gets me closer to what I want.
That felt good.
Felt really good. And then there are going to be those like, not so much. I think I will maybe not have as much. I won't go that direction next time. And really looking at where you can tighten up that next action step. And you can't do this process without pausing. You can't do it, as you said, if you just go right into the next activity, the next action step.
Because if you do, you lose the data.
Yeah,
there was something brilliant happened when it didn't work right.
Right.
You learned something really important, but if you jump right into the next activity, you lose it. And so this is, so here's real quick, nutshell, wrap it up. Stop, elevate, pause, set your intention before you go into the activity. Enjoy the activity as much as you can. Yeah. When it's over, stop. Look back. What worked? What isn't working? What's a new course correction? And then always remember to look in. You want to have that beautiful, expansive life. You really want to be in the love of your life. Become the love of your life. And thank you guys so much for being a part of Real Talk. We're so grateful. Again, share your feedback. What do you love about the show? What could we do better? We want to learn from you.
What are you really wanting? What are you really yearning for? What do you wonder about as you are interaction with other people, or if you're just on your own? We really want to know.
Absolutely. And we're not afraid to talk about anything. please share the love with your friends. And until next week,
Keep on advancing.
Yeah!
bam, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
Bam, Mama.
Baby, you did good.
Bam, Gemma.
You did good. Let's get some lights on.